Listen closely, because what I'm about to share will change everything in how you understand confidence and respect. You can read every self-help book available, watch hundreds of motivational videos, and repeat affirmations about confidence and respect 1,000 times, but if you don't grasp this one fundamental truth, the authority and influence you desire will always remain just beyond your reach. Have you ever wondered why some people command respect effortlessly, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? The secret isn't in what you say or do, it's in something deeper, something you become from within. Today, I'm not here to give you mere theories or cliches. Instead, I want to hand you a powerful key, something that almost no one has ever told you openly before. A truth revealed by the great psychologist Carl Jung, a truth that will forever transform how you command respect and strengthen your presence in any room or situation. Carl Jung famously said, "Love is not something you do. It is something you are." The same profound idea applies to respect. Respect is not something you demand, chase after, or attempt to manipulate from others. It's a quality you embody at your core. If you're watching this video, it's because somewhere inside you already senses that there is so much more available, more power, more presence, and a calm strength waiting to be unlocked. This isn't simply about learning to project confidence or set boundaries. It's about a deep transformation of your very essence, a shift in who you are fundamentally. It's about embodying an uncheckable presence, one that draws respect naturally and effortlessly, without the need for noise, aggression, or dominance. Marcus Aurelius, the legendary Stoic emperor and philosopher, understood this truth deeply. He wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. True power does not lie in loud words or forceful actions. It is found in mastering yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy." When you achieve this inner mastery, something extraordinary happens. People stop questioning your authority because they can feel it emanating from you long before you say a word. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to cultivate that quiet, commanding strength. We will explore the mindset shifts and practical steps that empower you to move through life with calm confidence. You'll learn to carry yourself with an energy that naturally commands respect, transforming you into a presence that others listen to, trust, and admire. This journey is about much more than mere power. It's about becoming the strongest, most grounded version of yourself. Imagine the presence of someone who doesn't feel the need to constantly prove themselves to others, a person whose confidence and strength are so deeply rooted that their authority is recognized without a single word. This kind of quiet power is magnetic, naturally commanding respect and admiration. But here's the thing, don't skip any part of this video, because every detail we discuss fits together like pieces of a puzzle. Miss one piece, and you risk missing the very key that unlocks the transformation you've been seeking for so long. If you appreciate the wisdom and insights we share here at Stoic Journal Path, I have one simple, free favor to ask of you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It might seem small, but this single action makes a huge difference. It allows us to continue sharing timeless wisdom that has the potential to truly change lives, including yours. Now, let's dive deeply into the truths that will shift everything for you. Here's what's interesting. Most of us spend a large portion of our lives chasing respect and validation from others. We want our bosses to appreciate our hard work, friends to acknowledge our worth, and family members to recognize the sacrifices we make. Yet, in this endless pursuit of external approval, how often do we pause to truly respect ourselves first? Reflect on the last time you neglected your own needs or compromised your core values just to keep someone else happy. Chances are, it happened more recently than you might think. This is a common pattern, one that quietly sends a message to both ourselves and the world that our own needs and worth don't truly matter. The Stoics had a profound insight into this phenomenon. True respect must begin from within. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Let that statement sink in. What Marcus is pointing out is that we often entrust our self-worth to the hands of others instead of honoring our own inner voice. When we seek validation externally before giving it to ourselves, we weaken our foundation. If you truly want others to respect you, if you want that authority and influence to be unshakable, then the first step is learning to respect and value yourself deeply. Self-respect is not selfishness. It is the foundation on which all genuine confidence and strength are built. When you set clear boundaries and prioritize your own values, you send a clear message not just to others but to yourself that your worth is non-negotiable. This is the essence of the Stoic teaching. Mastery over oneself begins with honoring your own dignity and integrity before looking outward for approval. As we continue, I'll guide you through mindset shifts and practical steps that help you cultivate this inner respect. You'll learn how to break free from the exhausting cycle of seeking external validation and instead build a calm, powerful presence rooted in self-assurance. This transformation is the true source of lasting respect and influence, not from chasing it, but from becoming it. First and foremost, you have to become someone who genuinely and deeply respects yourself, your values, your boundaries, your time, and your energy. This isn't just a vague idea. It's a practical foundation for cultivating real respect from others. To put it simply, it means getting crystal clear on what is absolutely non-negotiable in your life. Right now, take a moment to pause and reflect. What is one thing you absolutely refuse to tolerate anymore? Maybe it's the habit of being constantly available to everyone, endlessly checking emails late into the night, or saying yes to favors you genuinely don't want to do just to avoid conflict. Perhaps it's allowing someone to repeatedly disregard or disrespect your feelings simply because you fear rocking the boat or upsetting the status quo. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And nothing could be truer when it comes to setting boundaries. Often, the discomfort or fear you feel about establishing and enforcing your limits is far more daunting in your mind than it ever is in real life. This is a powerful insight because it encourages you to confront your fears with reason rather than avoidance. Here's something practical you can do right now to start taking control. Write down 3 personal boundaries that you are committed to honoring from this moment forward. These boundaries should be specific and meaningful to you. For example, it might be refusing to accept disrespectful or dismissive comments at work, protecting your personal downtime by not engaging in work-related tasks after 7 p.m., or carving out dedicated time every day for activities that nourish your mind, body, or spirit. Once you have these boundaries clearly outlined, the next crucial step is to calmly and respectfully communicate them to others in your life. Remember, setting boundaries is not about being defensive, aggressive, or confrontational. Instead, it's about quietly and firmly demonstrating to others, and most importantly to yourself, that you respect yourself enough to uphold these standards. When you start to genuinely honor your own limits and values, something remarkable happens. People around you quickly notice the change. They sense your newfound self-assurance and naturally begin to follow your lead. They respect you more not because you demand it, but because you clearly show that you respect yourself. This is the essence of what the Stoics called internal mastery, the quiet power that arises from living with integrity and self-respect. Align your actions deeply with your core values until respect becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. Starting today, give yourself full permission to truly honor your own worth. When you do this, not only will you feel stronger and more grounded internally, but you will also effortlessly command the respect of others without needing to force it or demand it. Have you ever noticed that when you feel uncertain or lack confidence, your language tends to soften, become hesitant, or overly apologetic? Take a moment to reflect on this. You might catch yourself saying things like, "Sorry, can I just quickly say something?" Or "This might be wrong, but it may feel harmless in the moment," even polite. However, each time you do this, you quietly undermine your own authority. You're sending a signal both to others and yourself that your voice doesn't fully deserve space or attention. The Stoics deeply believed in the power of clear and purposeful speech. Marcus Aurelius advised to speak plainly and with clarity, because he understood that speaking calmly and without unnecessary apologies communicates confidence, self-respect, and a strong sense of inner authority. When you speak clearly and deliberately, you aren't just delivering words. You are asserting the quiet strength of your own wisdom. You are telling both others and yourself that your ideas matter and that your presence demands respect. Here's a practical exercise you can try starting today. The next time you're in a meeting, a conversation, or even chatting casually with friends, consciously slow down your speech. Speak deliberately and pay close attention to how you express yourself. Notice if you tend to insert apologies or weaken your statements with unnecessary qualifiers like "I just think," or "maybe this isn't important." Instead, challenge yourself to clearly state your perspective without diluting its impact. Replace hesitant phrases with simple, direct statements such as, "Here's what I think," or "I'd like to share an idea." Now, I'm not saying that you should never apologize or that humility isn't important. It absolutely is. Stoicism teaches humility as one of its core virtues. However, there is a crucial difference between authentic humility and unnecessarily undermining yourself. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, reminds us, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This means understand your true value and carry yourself with the dignity and confidence that reflects it. By mastering the art of clear, confident speech rooted in self-respect, you build an uncheckable presence. This presence commands respect naturally, drawing others to listen and value what you say. It's not about being loud or forceful, it's about embodying strength through thoughtful, purposeful communication. When you truly understand who you are and develop unwavering trust in your own ideas, you naturally stop feeling the need to apologize for expressing them. Imagine how completely different your conversations would feel if every single word you said came from this calm, assured, and confident place deep within yourself. Picture yourself in a work meeting, not nervously rushing through your points or second-guessing every statement you make, but speaking clearly, calmly, and with undeniable certainty. Even if you're not 100% sure of the outcome, your team would immediately notice the difference. They would pay much closer attention, show greater respect for your perspective, and engage with genuine interest. And here's the best part: even if they disagree with you, they'll respect your willingness to speak honestly and confidently, because that kind of presence commands attention. So why not try this today? Make a deliberate, conscious effort to remove unnecessary apologies and qualifiers from your speech. Replace hesitant phrases, filler words, and weak disclaimers with clear, strong, and direct statements. Watch how people's responses shift almost immediately. They'll listen more attentively, respect your opinions far more fully, and most importantly, you'll feel your own confidence grow and strengthen with each word you say with clarity and conviction. Have you ever met someone who seems incredibly confident without needing to say much at all? They walk into a room and instantly command the attention of everyone present, not by speaking loudly or telling jokes, but simply through their calm, composed, and grounded presence. What's their secret? More often than not, it boils down to mastering the subtle yet incredibly powerful art of silence, combined with steady, deliberate eye contact. Now, I fully understand that silence can feel uncomfortable or awkward at first. We've all been there, desperately trying to fill every pause in conversation because the quiet feels strange, even unsettling. But here's the truth you need to embrace: silence is one of your greatest allies when it comes to commanding genuine respect from others. Reflect on the ancient Stoics. For a moment, they valued silence as a profound form of strength and clarity. Marcus Aurelius himself frequently reminded himself about the power of silence. He wrote, "You are not compelled to form an opinion about this matter before you." What he meant by this is that silence creates the crucial space you need to think carefully, reflect deeply, and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively or emotionally. Silence is not a sign of weakness or indecision. Instead, it's a powerful demonstration of self-control, maturity, and inner strength. Let's add to that the power of steady eye contact. Have you ever noticed how much authority someone naturally projects simply by maintaining calm, confident eye contact? It's almost magnetic, isn't it? Without uttering a single word, this kind of presence speaks volumes, signaling confidence, authenticity, and sincerity. When combined with silence, eye contact forms a formidable duo that communicates quiet command and effortlessly earns respect wherever you go. It communicates not only confidence but also deep sincerity and a grounded, powerful presence that others can immediately sense. On the flip side, when we avoid eye contact or frequently look away during conversations, we are unknowingly sending subtle signals of insecurity, hesitation, or uncertainty. These nonverbal cues, even if unintentional, can diminish our perceived authority and reduce the natural respect that people might otherwise give us. It's fascinating how something as simple as steady, comfortable eye contact even during brief moments of silence can project a sense of uncheckable confidence. This silent language sends a clear and powerful message to the person you're engaging with. I am fully present in this moment, attentive to you, and completely at ease with myself. From a practical standpoint, here's an actionable tip that you can start using immediately. The next time you find yourself in any kind of conversation, whether in a professional meeting, a casual chat with friends, or even during a personal or romantic interaction, make a conscious effort to pause deliberately before you respond. Give yourself the valuable space to truly listen, to process what is being said, and to think clearly before you speak. As you do this, maintain calm and steady eye contact with the other person. Notice how this simple act sharpens their attention and draws them deeper into the interaction. Far from creating awkward silences, this brief pause actually enhances your presence and gives your upcoming words far greater weight and influence. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." His insight reflects the deep connection between silence, attentive listening, and respect. When you become comfortable with silence, you aren't just withholding words, you're then showcasing a remarkable inner strength. You're sending a message to everyone, including yourself, that you are secure, confident, and thoughtful. There's no need to fill every moment of quiet with words just to prove your worth or presence. An MCC Hun. However, let's be honest, embracing silence can feel awkward or uncomfortable at first. Our natural instincts often push us to fill every pause with chatter because silence can feel vulnerable or uneasy. But trust me on this, the more you practice holding calm, confident silence while keeping eye contact, the more natural and effortless it becomes. Over time, you'll realize this simple but powerful practice dramatically increases your presence and allows you to command genuine respect without saying much at all. Mastering this art of silent confidence and intentional presence isn't just a communication skill. It's a profound form of self-mastery that transforms how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. It empowers you to stand strong without aggression, to be heard without shouting, and to lead through calm authority rather than noise. Without ever raising your voice, you understand that sinking feeling deep inside, the uncomfortable, heavy sensation that creeps in when you agree to something you really don't want to do, merely because you didn't want to upset someone else or come across as selfish. This is a common experience that many of us share. We've all been in situations where we said yes even though our gut instinct screamed no, and then immediately regretted that decision shortly after. It might be agreeing to take on extra work when your schedule is already packed and your energy is depleted, or saying yes to yet another social engagement that emotionally drains you simply because you couldn't bear the thought of disappointing a friend or a loved one. But here's the hidden truth. Every single time you override your own boundaries, every time you silently acquiesce, you are sending a quiet but powerful message, not just to others but to yourself, that your limits and your well-being don't truly matter. This pattern of concession gradually erodes your self-respect and diminishes your personal power. The Stoics were keenly aware of this dynamic. They recognized that establishing clear, firm boundaries is not only essential for preserving your own mental and emotional health, but it is also a fundamental way to command authentic respect from others. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "Let us say what we feel and feel what we say. Let speech harmonize with life." In simpler terms, Seneca is encouraging us to honor our words and our boundaries by making sure they truly align with our deepest feelings, values, and principles. When what you say reflects your true feelings and beliefs, your integrity shines through authentically. The moment you begin to consistently respect your own boundaries, an incredibly powerful shift occurs not only within you but also in the way others perceive and relate to you. People naturally begin to respect your limits because you have demonstrated that you respect yourself first. Let's bring this to life with a real-world example. Imagine you're deeply immersed in an important project at work. Suddenly, a coworker repeatedly interrupts you, not maliciously, but by chatting or venting their frustrations. In the past, You might have quietly tolerated these interruptions, becoming more and more frustrated with every distraction. But now, guided by a Stoic mindset, you calmly and firmly assert your boundary. You might say something like, "Hey, I understand you need to talk, but I really need to focus on this right now. Can we catch up later?" Notice your tone, it's neither angry nor defensive but clear, composed, and respectful. This kind of response communicates respect for your own time and energy and sends a clear message to the other person that you expect the same respect in return. In practical terms, here's an actionable step you can take immediately. Identify at least one recurring situation where your personal boundaries tend to be pushed or crossed. Maybe it happens at work, at home, or even among friends. Once you've identified this challenge, take a moment to define precisely which boundary you need to set. For instance, if your evenings are sacred for family time or personal rest and rejuvenation, make it explicitly clear first to yourself and then to those around you that work-related emails, phone calls, or messages after a certain hour are off limits. This clarity is vital as it protects your well-being and solidifies the importance of your boundaries. Remember, setting boundaries is not about confrontation, selfishness, or alienation. Instead, it's about preserving your energy and fostering healthier, more respectful relationships built on mutual understanding. When you consistently uphold your boundaries calmly and firmly, you reinforce your self-worth and set a standard for how you expect to be treated by others. Won't be responded to until the next day. Remember, this isn't about shutting people out or being cold-hearted. Rather, it's about setting clear expectations and communicating firmly what is acceptable for you and what is not. Boundaries are not walls designed to isolate, but bridges that help others understand your limits and respect your personal space. Marcus Aurelius, with his profound wisdom, beautifully summarized this principle when he said, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." Boundaries serve to align your external actions with your deepest internal values. They are a clear and powerful demonstration that you respect yourself enough to protect your peace of mind, your priorities, and your overall well-being. At first, setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable, intimidating, or even selfish, especially if you naturally tend toward being accommodating or constantly putting others first. You might worry that asserting your limits will make you seem harsh, unkind, or uncooperative. However, here's a surprising and empowering truth. People actually respect those who establish clear, consistent boundaries. Why? Because boundaries signal integrity, self-awareness, and self-respect. When you calmly and respectfully uphold your boundaries, you convey to others that you know your own worth and are confident enough to defend it. This quiet, steady self-assurance commands far more respect than aggression, defensiveness, or passive submission ever could. So, why not start today? Choose just one clear boundary that matters most to you. It could be something practical like refusing to check or respond to work emails after a certain hour in the evening, or politely declining social invitations when you know you need rest and recuperation. Whatever it is, communicate your boundary. Simply, confidently, and without hesitation or guilt. You'll be amazed at how quickly people begin to respect you more once you've made your limits known. More importantly, you'll notice how your own self-confidence and inner peace begin to rise dramatically. Setting boundaries isn't just about external validation, it's about cultivating and honoring respect from within yourself. Stoicism teaches us that when we are authentic, true to ourselves, and unwavering in our principles, the respect and clarity we desire will naturally follow. Authenticity has a magnetic quality. When you live in full alignment with your core values and assert your boundaries unapologetically, you radiate a calm, compelling presence that commands respect effortlessly and naturally. Have you ever observed how some people seem to command attention and respect the instant they enter a room, even before uttering a single word? It's as if there's something unique in the way they carry themselves, their posture, their composure, their subtle gestures, which silently yet powerfully communicates confidence, authority, and self-possession. What's truly fascinating is that this silent language, your body language, often speaks far louder than any words you might say. Often without realizing it, the way you hold your body, your stance, your gestures, your eye contact sends clear, powerful signals to everyone around you. standing tall with your shoulders back, maintaining steady eye contact, and moving with calm and deliberate intention conveys strength and deep self-assurance. On the other hand, slouching, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or rushing through movements can unintentionally suggest uncertainty, insecurity, or lack of confidence. Mastering this nonverbal communication is a profound and crucial step toward cultivating a truly uncheckable presence. It is about embodying confidence so completely and naturally that it becomes an inseparable part of your identity, influencing not just how others perceive you but also how you perceive and carry yourself. When your body and mind are fully aligned in this way, your presence alone commands respect and attention, without you needing to raise your voice or say a single word. And the way you carry yourself constantly sends powerful, unspoken messages to everyone around you about your sense of self-worth and the level of respect you expect to receive. The Stoics deeply understood that the way we hold our bodies physically is a direct reflection of how we hold ourselves mentally and emotionally. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, famously advised, "Stand straight, not straightened." What he meant by this is that your physical posture should not be forced or rigid, but instead it should naturally convey an inner dignity, calm confidence, and strength. It should not be a posture of tension, anxiety, or a superficial attempt to show bravado. You don't have to fake it or push yourself into a certain position. Your posture should be an authentic expression of the composed, self-assured person you are on the inside. When your body is truly aligned with your deepest values and beliefs, people around you instinctively sense your confidence and inner strength without you needing to say a single word. This natural alignment creates a powerful presence, one that commands attention, respect, and trust effortlessly. To illustrate this, let's consider two very different scenarios that can make this idea clearer. Picture yourself walking into an important meeting or social event with your shoulders slouched forward, your eyes fixed on the floor, perhaps nervously fidgeting or crossing your arms tightly across your chest. Even without uttering a single word, you have already communicated to everyone in the room that you feel uncertain, uncomfortable, or insecure. Your body language is revealing your doubts and apprehensions, and this often influences how others perceive you and respond to you. Now, picture yourself walking into that exact same meeting with a completely different demeanor. Your back is comfortably straight, your shoulders relaxed but open, your head held high, and you make easy, natural eye contact with those around you. Even before speaking, you have sent a clear and powerful message of confidence, competence, and calm assurance. Your very presence sets the tone for the room and projects an aura of authority and inner strength. Practically speaking, here is a simple yet profoundly effective exercise you can start applying immediately. The next time you enter any room, whether it's a formal business meeting, a casual get-together with friends, or even a date, take a moment to pause and consciously adjust your posture. Take a deep, slow, calming breath to center and ground yourself. Gently roll your shoulders back, lift your chest slightly, and raise your chin just enough to keep your gaze forward and open. Allow your posture to be open, relaxed, and natural. It doesn't need to feel stiff or forced. Instead, let yourself stand tall and comfortable in a way that genuinely reflects your inner self, conveying quiet strength and steady confidence. By making this small but intentional change, you will notice a subtle yet significant shift not only in how others perceive you but also in how you feel within yourself. Your confidence will grow, your presence will deepen, and you will naturally command respect and attention without having to raise your voice or say much at all. This is the profound power of embodying the Stoic ideal, mastering not only your mind but also your body, creating a harmonious and authentic expression of true strength, self-respect, and dignity. Or simply sit or stand in a way that feels good to you, confident, poised, yet completely relaxed. This balance between assurance and ease is a subtle but powerful way to project your inner strength outwardly. Another profound teaching from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasizes that we should not only hold Stoic principles in our minds but also embody them fully in our demeanor and actions. If your philosophy is grounded in self-respect and the belief that you deserve respect from others, then your body language must communicate exactly that truth. This embodiment is not about arrogance, boastfulness, or trying to appear superior. Instead, it's about genuinely feeling comfortable in your own skin embracing your worth quietly but firmly. This kind of authentic self-assurance naturally commands respect from those around you. Here's the remarkable part: you don't need to reinvent yourself or put on a facade. You don't have to radically change who you are or pretend to be someone you're not. The key is simply to allow your physical presence to reflect the inner strength, calm, and dignity that you already possess deep within. Begin experimenting today by becoming more mindful of your posture, gestures, and how you carry yourself throughout the day. Notice moments when you might be shrinking inward, crossing your arms defensively, or slouching. Instead, practice keeping your body language calm, open, relaxed, and assured. This conscious shift will bring immediate effects not just in how others respond to you, but in how you feel about yourself. The connection between mind and body is profound, and by aligning them, you cultivate an uncheckable inner confidence that radiates outward. Remember, your body language acts as the silent ambassador of your inner confidence. When you master this nonverbal language, you effortlessly communicate strength, authority, and respect without ever needing to raise your voice or demand attention. This kind of presence speaks louder than words and leaves a lasting impact on those around you. Now, think about those moments when you find yourself engaged in a calm discussion, but suddenly a disagreement arises. Before you realize it, emotions start to take control. Your voice may get louder, your words sharper, and you might feel the urge to aggressively defend your position. We've all experienced this. Later, you might wonder why the conversation escalated so quickly or why respect seemed to evaporate in those tense moments. But here's something truly interesting. Disagreements don't have to turn into conflicts, and conflicts don't have to damage respect or goodwill. It is entirely possible and indeed powerful to handle differences of opinion with calmness, grace, and genuine inner strength. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the opinions and disagreements of others didn't need to disturb his inner peace. One of his famous reflections was, "You don't have to turn this into something, it doesn't have to upset you." What he meant is that even when someone challenges you or disagrees with you, you have the power to maintain your composure and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This approach preserves your dignity, maintains respect, and keeps the door open for constructive dialogue rather than destructive conflict. The ability to stay calm and measured, even amid disagreement, is a hallmark of true strength, the strength cultivated by Stoic wisdom and practiced through mindful self-control. Or disagrees with us, it doesn't automatically threaten our authority or diminish our self-worth. Your confidence remains intact even when others see things differently from you. In fact, how you handle disagreements directly reflects your inner strength, emotional maturity, and personal growth. It is a powerful indicator of your true character. Think about it practically. Imagine you are in a work meeting, and someone openly challenges your idea or viewpoint. Your immediate instinct might be to become defensive, to argue back quickly, or to prove them wrong. But imagine if instead, you paused, took a deep breath, and listened carefully. You genuinely consider their perspective before responding. You might say something like, "That's an interesting perspective. I hadn't thought of it that way before. Here's why I approached it differently." Notice the power in that simple, calm response. You are not surrendering your position or conceding defeat. Instead, you are showing respect for their viewpoint while communicating your own with clarity and composure. This approach disarms tension and invites constructive dialogue. Epictetus famously taught that it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that truly matters. Applied to disagreements, this means they are not inherently negative or threatening. Rather, they are opportunities to display calm confidence, thoughtfulness, and leadership under pressure. Imagine an observer watching how you handle a disagreement with patience and openness. They immediately respect you more because they see someone who is emotionally mature, self-assured, and composed even in challenging situations. This perception can elevate your influence and strengthen your relationships. Here's a practical tip you can use starting today. The next time you sense a disagreement brewing, whether with a coworker, friend, or family member, make a conscious choice to pause and breathe deeply before responding. Remind yourself that their opinion does not threaten your value or diminish your authority. Listen attentively, acknowledge their perspective clearly, and then share your own calmly and respectfully. You will notice how quickly this approach diffuses potential conflicts, turning them into thoughtful, meaningful conversations. Initially, responding this way might feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable, especially if you're accustomed to reacting defensively or impulsively. You might even feel vulnerable or uncertain. But remember, vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it is a profound strength. Stoicism teaches that self-control and measured responses cultivate resilience and personal power. By practicing patience and emotional regulation in moments of disagreement, you embody the true essence of Stoic wisdom and leadership. And emotional discipline are indeed the highest and most admirable forms of true strength. When you handle disagreements with grace and composure, you are embodying a quiet, profound power, one that commands far more genuine respect than merely raising your voice or aggressively defending your position ever could. This kind of calm authority resonates deeply with others and reflects a mastery over oneself that few possess. So, I encourage you to give this approach a sincere try today. Embrace disagreements not as threats or challenges to be feared, but as valuable opportunities to practice calmness, clarity, and self-respect. By doing so, you will not only feel stronger and more centered internally, but you will also naturally inspire respect, admiration, and even trust from those around you. You know what's surprisingly true? The moments when you feel your weakest, whether it's admitting a mistake, sharing a personal fear, or honestly expressing uncertainty, are often the very moments when others perceive your greatest strength. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Because most of us are conditioned from a young age to equate vulnerability with weakness. We are taught to hide our struggles, cover up our mistakes, and never reveal any cracks in our armor. But here's the fascinating and empowering truth: vulnerability, when expressed authentically and with integrity, is actually one of your most powerful assets when it comes to commanding genuine respect. The Stoics deeply understood this strength in honest vulnerability. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor wielding immense power, openly acknowledged his own shortcomings, doubts, and uncertainties in his personal writings. He never sought to hide his imperfections. Rather, he embraced them as an essential and natural part of being human. He famously wrote, "Don't be ashamed to need help. Like a soldier storming a wall, you have a mission to accomplish." What he meant was that recognizing and openly admitting your limitations is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of courage and tremendous inner strength. It takes far more courage and resilience to admit vulnerability honestly than to pretend you have all the answers or to hide your mistakes out of fear or pride. Think about your own life for a moment. Imagine a situation at work or among friends where you made a mistake. Your initial instinct might be to hide it, justify it, or even blame someone else to protect yourself from judgment or criticism. But now imagine a different approach, calmly and honestly saying, "That was my mistake. I misunderstood the situation, and I will make sure it doesn't happen again." What happens then? You actually gain respect. People naturally admire and trust those who are secure enough to own their errors and be honest about their humanity. They see someone who is confident enough to be vulnerable, a person who embodies true strength by embracing their imperfections rather than concealing them, who doesn't hide behind false bravado or put up walls of defensiveness. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, explained that true strength lies in fully accepting the reality of who you are, imperfections, vulnerabilities, and all. He taught us that vulnerability is not a weakness or a threat to your self-worth. On the contrary, it actually enhances your authenticity and integrity. When you are openly vulnerable, you are sending a clear and powerful message both to others and to yourself, that you value honesty above your ego. You show that you are secure enough within yourself to acknowledge your flaws, uncertainties, or even fears without losing your deep sense of inner strength. Practically speaking, here's a simple yet incredibly powerful exercise you can try right now, today. The next time you find yourself in a situation where you feel uncertain, nervous, or where you clearly made a mistake, instead of trying to mask or hide it, openly acknowledge what's really happening. Do so calmly and confidently. For example, you might say, "I'm honestly not sure of the best solution at this moment. I'd really appreciate your input," or "I'm feeling a bit nervous about this presentation. but I'm going to give it my best. Notice how instantly relatable and admirable this simple act of honesty becomes to others. At first, embracing vulnerability like this might feel uncomfortable. You may worry about appearing weak or fear that you might lose respect from others. But here's the powerful paradox. Authentic vulnerability actually boosts respect, trust, and deepens connection. People naturally admire those who are authentic. They see strength in your courage to be real and transparent. You become someone they feel safe around, someone they can genuinely trust because you are not hiding behind a facade or pretending to be someone you're not. Remember, respect is not something you demand from others. It is something you become through your actions, your presence, and your honesty. Now, if you're ready to deepen your understanding of these truths and fully embrace your inner strength, I invite you to click on the video on your screen right now. Thank you sincerely for being part of Stoic Journal Path. I look forward to seeing you again soon.